Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. We have the feature finals from Common Charity Daily number 5, a common charity format tournament that is held daily on Dueling Book at 6 p.m. Eastern. We have some pretty unique decks here. We have Earth Machine versus FIENDSMITH Blue Eyes Evil Hero pile here in the finals. It was mostly just Dark Beckoning Beast going crazy. The Earth Machine player opens no hand traps here, unfortunately for him. And then the Dark Beckoning player is just going to be able to go crazy here. So they start off, they normal summon Dark Beckoning Beast, and then Dark Beckoning searches Chaos. They get the additional normal summon, link off into Almirage, and then make Moon. Then they use Opening of the Spirit Gates to bring back Dark Beckoning Beast, and then go ahead and link summon into FIENDSMITH sequence, fusing into Aerial Eater. Aerial Eater effect is gonna trigger here, letting them send any fiend they need from deck to grave, so they send the Grave Squirmer. From there, they use the effect of Sinister Necrom, and I imagine that if they didn't have Sinister Necrom, they could just, send it off the Aerial Eater. So from there, they're gonna use the Sinister Necrom, special summon out the Infernal Rider from deck. Infernal Rider is going to search out the Dark Fusion, then they're going to overlay into Pilgrim Reaper. Using the effect of Pilgrim Reaper, they're going to mill 5. The Snapdragon, he does mill TEARLAMENT Select. They're also on Blue Eyes, Jet Dragon, and Merly here. Merly is going to be able to fuse into, I believe, Dragostapelia here, and then so they search off the Havness, and then they use the Merly and the Aerial Eater to make Dragostapelia. Being able to search the Havness here is pretty relevant. Although the Merly's on bottom of the deck, they are also playing some other cards they can mill that really make a difference in a lot of these matchups. From there, the FIENDSMITH TEARLAMENT pile player sets Paleozoic Dynamiscus and passes it back. From here, the Earth Machine player, since they milled the Fortress, pays 2,500 to reset the Dragon Mind. And then from there, they are going to draw Machina Defense Perimeter, and then pitch 2 to bring back the Machina Fortress, activating Defense Perimeter, keeping that Machina Gear Frame safe from that Dragostapelia there, and then uses the effect of Unclasp Bear to summon itself. Unclasp Bear is going to trigger its effect, and the FIENDSMITH player is going to chain Havness here, milling 3. They mill 2 White Stones of Ancients, and even Earth Machine player says double Ancients. Youch, yeah, that is really strong here. And then they go to the end of main 1. Dynamiscus is activated here to be met with Dragon's Mind, getting rid of the Dynamiscus. And then Earth Machine player is just making sure that he maintains the game state. And then goes to battle phase, swings over sequence, and then uses the effect of Resavager to add itself back to hand, and then swings with the Fortress, and then the Fortress dies. They trigger Fortress effect to pop the Dragostapelia, and then Defense Perimeter is going to activate there. And then, again, thanks for the Earth Machine player, just making sure that they maintain the game state. The Dragostapelia can't activate because the destruction happens at the end of damage step. And then from here, the Earth Machine player adds back Gearbox. Gearbox searches Infinitrack Tunneler. He swings with the Unclasp Bear, goes to main phase 2. Earth Machine player thinking here, brings back the Machina Fortress, overlays into Gear Gigant. Gear Gigant uses its effect to search out Symphonic Warrior Guitar, and then they link off into Barricade Board Blocker. I can never say that card's name right. Barricade Board? Yeah, Barricade Board Blocker. We did it. To summon out the Symphonic Warrior Mics from deck. Then they use the effect of Tunneler to get a nice little draw 2 here. And then they drew Machina Irradiator and, unfortunately, the Ancient Gearbox. And they also have the Solemn Judgment and EMR here, so they're actually not in a terrible position. Overdrive is going to activate to recycle the Machina monsters again, as well as the Tunneler, and draw them another card. They draw a second copy of EMR, which is not a hard once per turn, y'all. And then they go ahead and discard the Irradiator, bring back the Machina Fortress, set 3, and pass. On the end phase, White Stones of Ancient are both going to trigger, summoning out a Blue Eyes and a Jet Dragon from deck. The FIENDSMITH pile player draws Opening of the Spirit Gates, and then EMR here is going to just pop off and kill the Jet Dragon, and then the second Jet Dragon is going to activate. They chain EMR, popping Spirit Gates and Blue Eyes, but unfortunately, the Spirit Gates player swings over Fortress. I don't know if this was correct, but maybe they just used too many of their resources turn 1. And then Perimeter is going to add back the Irradiator. Main 2 hits here. Opening the Spirit Gates gets met with Solemn Judgment. Pretty tough there. And then sets the White Stone of Ancients and just passes here. This was pretty tough for the Fiendsmith player. The Earth Machine player does draw Green Gadget here, searches out Red Gadget, and then goes ahead, pitches a Radiator, brings back Machina Fortress, then links 2 off into a Codebreaker Virus Swordsman, pitches 2 again, brings back the Machina Fortress one more time, then swings, and then the Fiendsmith player brings back the Jet Dragon, and then the Fortress swings over the Set Ancients. Bruh, from Jay, for sure, pretty funny there. And then end phase summons another copy of Blue Eyes from deck. The Fiendsmith player draws TEARLAMENT Merly. Probably not the best top deck here, but the mill could be nuts, which it is. Malicious. That's insane. But they just go to battle phase, swing with the Merly. The Merly dies. They bring back Jet Dragon. Now they go ahead and swing over that Blue Eyes, which means the Fortress just can't really do anything here. Just because there's double Jet Dragon, and then Defense Perimeter triggers, adds back the Gearbox. Gearbox triggers and searches out the Tunneler. Earth Machine player definitely just going to try and draw an out here, and then they just scoop it up, not realizing that the Blue Eyes Fiendsmith TEARLAMENT pile player, I don't know what to call this deck, y'all, had game on board anyways. So Earth Machine player is going to be taking us off. Starts with normal summon Gearframe, search Unclasp Bear, special summons Unclasp Bear, and sends a Machina from deck to graveyard, which is going to be Fortress. Overlays into Gear Gigant. Gear Gigant searches out the Symphonic Warrior Guitar, activates Guitar, pitches Defense Perimeter, special summons Mikes, gets the additional normal summon off Mikes to normal summon the Tin Goldfish and make a second copy of Gear Gigant using the Re-Savager, adds Gearbox. Gearbox triggers and searches out Tunneler, discards both for the Machina Fortress, then overlays Vespinato, links off both Gear Gigants into the Barricade board blocker, then uses Tunneler to put 3 monsters back to the extra deck, 2 back to the main, shuffle up and draw 2, draws Machina Overdrive and a Gadget, passes back to the Pile player. Pile activates the Feather Duster. Machina Overdrive happens here. They chain, popping their Symphonic Warrior Mikes to summon another copy of Fortress from deck. The Pile player normal summons Whitestone, and then tries to summon the Destrudo, and asks if he can take it back. The Earth Machine player does allow them to do that. They just link off into the Almirage, then end phase summons the Jet Dragon from deck. Machina player draws for turn, draws Machina Overdrive, normal summons Green Gadget, searches Red Gadget, and then from there they link 4 off into Borreload, switch the Fortress to attack, activate Overdrive, putting back the Gadgets, the Borg, and the Unclasp Bear to draw another card. They do draw the second machine, but they don't use it. They use the effect of Almirage to target the Jet Dragon, then they snatch the Jet Dragon out from under them, and at the start of damage step, they are going to use Jet Dragon to steal the Machina Fortress, or to bounce it, excuse me, but Machina Fortress is going to activate to look at the hand and discard the Chaos Summoning Beast. Jet Dragon gets snatched, and then they swing directly for 3k. Main 2, pitch the Goldfish and the Fortress for another copy of Fortress, sets the Overdrive, passes to Snapdragon here. Snapdragon normal summons the Whitestone, actually decides to set it. It could be anything. I forgot Almirage isn't Link Kuriboh. Yep. The Jet Dragon gets sent to graveyard because of the Borreload, and then the Gadget player draws. This is a unique counter trap that Jay here is using. Grand Horn of Heaven. This is going to negate an inherent special summon of a monster, destroy that monster, make your opponent draw a card, and end their main phase. A pretty powerful common in trap decks here. And then Snapdragon just scoops because it is lethal on board. Now we are going to game 3. Action. Jay here does not open any kind of interaction, but it looks like Earth Machine is going to be taking first in this third game here. Normal summons Green Gadget, searches, activates Defense Perimeter, passes. Pretty smart play here from the Fiendsmith Pile player, just playing around all these kaijus in everyone's sideboard in this format. Activates Opening of the Spirit Gates to search Dark Beckoning. Dark Beckoning is going to search out the Chaos Summoning. which they are then going to link off into Moon. They're going to activate the effect of opening, pitching Blue Eyes to bring back Dark Beckoning Beast, and then link off into Sequence. From here, they use Sequence to put back the Summoning Beasts and Fusion Summon into Aerial Eater, which is going to send a Fiend Monster from deck to graveyard. They send Sinister Necrom, and then from there, the Sinister Necrom is going to activate, special summon out the Infernal Rider from deck. Infernal Rider is going to search out Dark Fusion, and then they're going to activate 1-for-1, pitching Eldritch to summon Grave Squirmer from deck. Then they're going to overlay into Pilgrim Reaper. Both players are going to mill 5. Then the Fiendsmith player, Snapdragon, he's going to trigger the Tearlament Solic, where Earth Machine player says, "You did it," and then puts the 3 monsters back with Machina Overdrive to draw a card. And then from there, they're going to search out the Havness. Snapdragon's thinking here, sets a card, uses the effect of Eldritch to send the Dark Fusion off to bring itself back. Eldritch being in that 2-player starter deck is actually pretty insane. They link off into Rat-10. Go to battle phase. At the start of battle phase, Rat-10 is going to activate Popping Machina Defense Perimeter, swings over Green Gadget, then swings for 3,500 direct, and then the main 2 happens here. They set Dynamiscus, move to end phase, pay 2,500 for Dragon Mind. Screw it, says Jay. And then Jay draws for a turn. He draws Imperm. Of course, the hand trap off the top every time, right? Slumber here is going to summon Jizukiru and the Kumungus. Kumungus is going to get summoned to the opponent's side of the field. And then Tin Goldfish, normal summon here, uses the effect, special summons Red Gadget, searches out Yellow Gadget. And then I wonder what they're going to overlay into here. They do just make the Gear Gigant X. Gear Gigant's going, thinking on summon. Dynamiscus hits here. Oh, man. If only they had summoned Radiant, they could use the Dragon's Mind here. That would be pretty cool. From here, they discard Whitestone of Ancients too, which is really bad for the Earth Machine player here. Jay is thinking here. They forgot to take the damage. There's a little bit of, I think Snap was lagging pretty much all day. And then on the end phase, Snap's going to use the effect of Whitestone of Ancients to summon out Blue Eyes Jet Dragon. Fiendsmith Pile player draws Destrudo for turn, which is pretty solid here. It doesn't do a ton, but it does give them the extender, but they could just swing for lethal if they want to play, you know, a little recklessly. But Imperm actually saving Jay here from the Jet Dragon. They go to main 2 because I don't think they have a Blue Eyes Engrave either. They do have Blue Eyes Engrave, so maybe that even if they did swing with Havness, you know, it doesn't really matter. If they were trying to get back the Jet Dragon, they draw Droll Lockbird here. Not the best card to draw here either. Goes straight to battle phase, swings over Havness, moves to main 2, uses the effect of Kaiju Slumber to search out a Godarla. And then from there, they set the gadget here and pass. They only have 1,200 life points, so really not trying to commit too hard. They use the effect of opening of the Spirit Gates, then they pay half their life points to special summon out Destrudo. Then they go ahead and synchro off, into Black Rose Dragon, destroying all cards on the field. Seems a little risky here, but they do just have Jet Dragon, I forgot, to just bring back and then swing for game. Snapdragon winning our common charity number 5. Let's get into a couple of things. First, we're going to get into these deck lists, and then I'm going to show you guys a pretty cool resource that was brought to my attention for common charity. So let's get into these decks. So here we have the Earth Machine list that was being played. This is basically just Machina gadgets, y'all. It's pretty cool. They have the Symphonic Warriors as well as EMR here as some tech options and the 2 different Horn of Heavens. Grand Horn was putting in some work for Jay today, and then their side deck is just riddled with going second stuff and then just Lunalight and Melodious Hate, as well as randomly 2 copies of Ash Blossom. Extra deck looking pretty cool too. They have 2 level 10s. They have the Vespinato, Gear Gigant X, the Dreadnought, as well as Borreload, Raten, Steel Star Regulator, Codebreaker, Virus, Swordsman, 2 copies of Barricade, Borg Blocker, and Trap Tricks, Rafflesia. So this deck was pretty cool. Let's check out the first place list. So here we have the first place list. I'm just going to call this deck Fiendsmith, Tearlament, Pile, maybe just Spirit Gate, I don't know what to call it. We're going to call it Spirit Gate Pile, y'all. This deck is super cool. They have Blue Eyes Jet Dragon as one of the tech options. Of course, they're on the Dark Beckoning Beast engine with the Spirit Gates. 3 copies of Mali, 2 copies of Destrudo, seems like quite a bit. 2 copies of Eldritch, 1 copy of Infernal Raider, 1 copy of Sinister Necrom, 2 copies of Grave Squirmer. I didn't really see this card do a whole lot today, but it does seem pretty important if they're on 2 copies of it. It does let them play into the Phantasmal Summoning Beast here, which they did use. There is a pretty cool replay that I'm going to post in the YouTube shorts for you guys to check out from the round 1 of this tournament. 2 copies of Tearlament Merly, 3 copies of Ancients, and 2 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon, 2 copies of Delta of Invitation. This card was insane today. This is such a powerful common, y'all. 1 copy of Fallen Paradise, as well as 1 Foolish and 1 1-for-1. 3 copies of Dynamiscus and Sulliak. The Dynamiscus was just one of the best removal pieces. They're also on a really cool tech in World Legacy, World Shield. They are on a mill deck, so they can definitely mill this card, and during the standby phase, get this card back. There is a world where your opponent went first and you opened Havnus and you mill this card. A lot of decks just don't have enough outs to be able to deal with this card. Pretty solid card overall. And then the extra deck, the 1 Aerial Eater, Dangerous, Darkest Night, Malicious Bane, Mud Dragon, Dragostapelia, Ancient Fairy, and Black Rose Dragon. I think it's pretty cool that Ancient Fairy Dragon can pop their Fallen in Paradise and then search Delta of Invitation. That's a pretty cool interaction. 1 copy of Goblin's Crazy Beast, a Pilgrim Reaper, and then their Link package, which was mostly just Sequence and Moon doing the most work, and of course, General Reten, the boss of Common Charity. This card seems to find its way in almost every extra deck, y'all. This card is insane. Every battle phase popping a card, just a super powerful card. Now let's talk about this resource that I have for you guys. So this is Excavate.top. It is a pretty cool resource here. It already has the FCC, also known as format, and then Common Charity. You can use it for other stuff, but if you put F and then colon and then CC and then type whatever you're looking for, it's gonna pop up. For example, I typed hero here, and as you can see, this is only common cards. This uses the Yu-Gi-Oh! Wikipedia and is updated every 2 hours by itself. It's a self-automated system. It's really cool. You can go ahead and just search pretty much whatever you want, and it's going to show you the cards that are in common printing for Common Charity. So let's say I want to build a Salamangreat deck. I just go ahead and make sure I got FCC typed up in there and make sure I spell Salamangreat correctly. But let's just say, bam, now I have every common Salamangreat card that is in Common Charity. This is a super critical resource for you guys. I'm going to make sure it's in the description box for you guys for every video in the future pushing on. It'll also be available to you guys in the Discord as well as Facebook. Make sure you guys are using this. This will really help cut down on incorrect deck lists, as well as being able to help you guys brew some spicy stuff. So shout out to Santiago for making this. This was a super cool resource for us, y'all, and make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe while you're down there grabbing the deck lists out of the description box. And if you guys like this type of video, make sure you tell me in the comments what you would like to see next. What kind of content do you want to see on the channel as far as Common Charity is concerned? With that being said, we had a great tournament. I hope to see you guys in Common Charity number 6. This is Gores, hopping off.